You're watching Irie Fire Studios Burning Sessions. We're Stell and Snuggs.
What advice would we give musicians aspiring to have a career in music? Be prepared to work a lot. Be prepared to be on the phone a lot. Be prepared to work on your website and be prepared to do many different styles of music, because yes, you can play this one style of music very well, but if you're going to have it as a full-time job, you should probably learn other styles of music as well. Just make yourself very versatile as a musician and you'll have more work.
It's better for you too. I think it's your music is a language, and just like if you were going to be a writer, you could be a famous writer that only writes in one style and have that sort of a voice, which is cool. But even a good amount of writers that make their livings like that and make their mark like that, they know about their craft, because there's the craft part of what you do, which is the knowledge of the nuts and bolts of it, and then there's the art of what you do, which is the music. But to really get to the music, you've got to work through the craft part. You've got to really kind of beat your head against the wall and just really kind of get it, learn from good people, surround yourself with good people.
Practice, practice, practice. Make it a daily routine, every day practice. Even if you pick up the instrument 15 minutes, that's all you have. At least you've spent 15 minutes on the instrument, but always practice.
Yeah, if you love it, if you really love it, that's just going to happen, normally, and don't, and have faith, if you believe in what you do and you know that you're making good music, you have to make some sacrifices to follow that, You have to you might have to eat rice and beans for a while, but don't give up. Don't say, I'm just going to go back to working a day job. Don't give up your passion. Keep going, and if you really have something to say, somebody's going to want to listen.
It may not happen for 10 years. You might have to be at it for that long. Usually that, a lot of successful bands, they don't really make it happen until about 10 years into it. So you don't want to quit before then if you're very passionate about it. About it. Also, don't burn any bridges. If something happens between you and a club owner or a festival organizer, don't burn the bridge too soon, Just take it as okay, this didn't work out the way I hoped, but lesson learned. Some of the challenges.
We have a good amount of challenges that we go through. I mean, everybody does. We've been touring for 4 years with a sailboat, which I'm not sure is the greatest idea in the world, but 4 years and 25,000 miles of sailing later, we're not just learning we're not just making the music together. We're kind of like doing this sort of experience. The sound is from the lifestyle and the transportation as much as it is from what we were before. It's actually from what we've made, because when we left for the first year coming down here, we actually didn't really have any repertoire at all. We were like, okay, we got some gigs, what are we going to play? So there's that. It's just continuing the repertoire and continuing doing that, but it's also the using a sailing vessel to get to and fro. You're really at the whim of the weather. However, the Caribbean in the wintertime is a great place to do it because the weather's so stable and nice. But it can be challenging. It can be very okay, the weather's really crappy and we've got a 32-mile sail, and 32 miles in a car is a very different story than on a sailboat. And when it's rough, it's like, all right, put your it's where the rubber meets the road, man. You gotta put your big boy pants on and make it happen. You?
A challenge for playing music or being in the music business is music is free now. You can go to Spotify, you can go and just listen to music for free. So selling music is very challenging. So I believe that touring is really the way to go these days as far as making money as a musician. You have to tour and you have to travel and you have to just be prepared to be on the road for a long period of time, I think. So that's what we've been doing for the past 4.5 years. We've been constantly on the road or out by the sea, and when we come back to the States, we tour in the United States and go cross country and tour in Chicago, Denver, Philadelphia, New York City, New Jersey. We just stay very busy that way. So sometimes that can be a challenge in itself too, because we're not in one spot for very long.
Right.
It wears on you. Yes, there are some stereotypes I like to dispel. We don't play music because it's our hobby. We play music because it's our craft and it's what we work at very hard. So it's a job, but it's a job we enjoy. How about you, Jared?
It's a career. I would agree with that. I think that, you know, there's a difference, I think, when you meet someone who's been at it a long time, and you can tell that they're at a different level and they've really worked, you know. And granted, there's also kids out there in rock bands that just want to be a rock star, and that's cool. You know, good on them. You know, if they can do that, that's great. But, you know, I think that there's also people that are genuinely, you know, passionate about music and love it and are making a career out of it. And, you know, I think that it's easy for people who aren't musically inclined to see that as kind of a goof off. But the reality is that, you know, the people whom I've been lucky enough to study with, who've taught me, you know, the greatest things I've known, they're master musicians. They're some of the best in the world, and they've taken hundreds, thousands of hours. You know, I guess maybe tens of thousands of hours have gone into just getting to that point. You know, so it takes a lot of commitment and a lot of time to really be that level of mastery. You know, it's like being a lawyer or a surgeon or something. I mean, the only good part about it is you don't actually have to retire. You know, as long as you can pick up the instrument, you can play it forever. So that's kind of nice.